Hey, what's up, guys? Eddie here, and I'm here with
Eric, and I play generators.
Oh my God! Hey guys, I just got clapped up last round at the regional. He's 8-1, so he beat me for the top playing best deck generators apparently. Let's see the go.
All right. So to start off, 3 of the starter, 3 Laughter. This gets access to most of your generators plays. Even if you have the field spell plus this, you'll have at least a summon. So even if your your field spell gets ashed, you have a guaranteed summon, and then you get your tokens to the list. And then another good card is Navala. She's definitely one of the starters to get a combo where you can hand rip your opponent for 2, because this plus another card gets you really far and makes your board basically almost unbreakable. And then for the single bosses, I play 1 Har, Dominated Gates, really strong, really good. 1 Mardell's the Searcher. Hala gets to double hand rip, and then 1 Utgard, which is a banish, which is just in case for like Unchained or anything like that.
Any changes here?
I had Har originally at 2, and then eventually it came to it was a bricking problem, and I didn't want to keep seeing it in my hand. So eventually I was looking at other lists, and eventually it convinced me enough to put Har to 1, even though I love Planar. Planar was probably my favorite deck, my favorite card in the whole game. And then for other starters, we have double Diviner, we have Trias, and then we have 1 DD spell. So this Diviner by itself gets you to Baron, because you go Diviner, send this, and then you go Trias, tribute Diviner, and then since Diviner was tributed, you summon this from deck, and then you make these 2 into a Baron. Or if you have this card already in your hand, you can send something like Lopter, or most likely you probably send this if you have a generator in hand, or in my extra deck I do play Entis, so if you have to go second and you need a kind of a good pop, you can just use this to send Entis as well. Which is also pretty strong. But I didn't use Entis all day today, so it's like I'm thinking about taking it out of the extra deck. And then I played 3 Fenrir. Originally I had these in the side, and I had Nibs in the main, but the night before I was realizing that these were so much better, because this makes your board more impactful, because ending on this plus Baron plus the new rank 9 makes it harder for your opponent to get through, because it has to play through an Omni Gate and take 2 cards and then a banish face down as well, which is really strong. And then for hand traps, I played 3 Ash, 3 Veiler, 3 Droll, and then 3 Emperor. Mostly these cards came up a lot, and then these cards, like Droll wasn't really that good, because most of my lineups that I was facing for depths today weren't really needing this deck card as well. So I was thinking about taking these out for Nib, but realizing the fact that you have boss stage and you have boss fight, or you have generator monsters that can make your opponent draw, and then giving them this as well hurts them a lot, especially with Har, because you go chain link 1 Har, chain link 2 Droll. So you rip a card and then your opponent can't add anymore.
That's crazy.
It's pretty strong, but most of the time I'm setting these out for like Nib or back row removal. And then for the spells, you have to play 3 boss stage, best field spell, throw at me. I love playing this. Best probably field spell in my honest opinion, even though Tricking Game is banned, but Tricking Game ain't here anymore. 3 Prosby, 2 Monstrosity. People were playing 3, but mostly I feel like most of the time I'm already going to be building a pretty significant board without having to use this, but if I do see this or dig into it with Prosby, it just makes it a little bit more sweeter. And then Talents, if they ash me, or Prosperity to rip cards to get some hand knowledge. And then that's it. And then for the one-offs, Terraforming, Kobai, and then for 1 trap boss fight. What boss fight does is basically activate a generator field spell from my deck or graveyard, and then it makes your opponent draw. So most of the time, you make them draw, and then you draw them, and then you get boss stage to summon as well, which is pretty strong.
That's crazy.
For the extra, 2 Leviton, which is... I was thinking about playing it at 3, and I'm thinking about putting it up to 3, because this, like in the later games, is pretty strong, especially with the fact that it makes your opponent's attack and defense 1,000 less, and that's pretty significant. And then this makes this, and I like this card, but having it during your opponent's turn and then having it, if you don't have a draw or any way to interact, it just becomes dead on the field because making your opponent draw gives them a chance to draw something into better if their hand's already brick it as it is. So you don't want to give them that possibility of unbrick it. But it does help you make a giant Zeus, so I kind of like that. And then I play 2 Enter Blasmir. This is the card. This is the card you make for Rip 2, and then after you make these 2, Rip 2, and then you end on Draco feature, which is just a good monster negate. So just in case your opponent does have the Ash, and it's really strong. And also if your opponent's already committing, then you just negate, and then if you have extra space on the field, you just take it, which is pretty good.
Crazy.
Rather great. Then I play 1 Typhon. Didn't really need it, but it could have shown up. But most of the time I'm banishing it if I can set up a dominant board. 1 Zeus, it came up once, but eventually I got Silvercall away, but it is what it is. Play 1 Sacred Tree Beast. It's not bad, but it's also not the best XCs in the toolbox. So I'm probably thinking of dropping this down and probably put a 3rd Leviathan. It's probably it. And then play 1 Earth Slasher. It actually came up once today, playing against a back row heavy deck, and thank God it wasn't Unchained because I would have gone hard punished. But 3100 to swing over their big monsters, and then it takes if it destroys a monster in battle. So just additional material to make a Zeus is also pretty strong. And then for the last cards, 1 Baron, 1 Entis, which I'm thinking about dropping, and then 1 SP Little Knight, which I was making a lot. I like this card a lot. Card's fucking broken, excuse my language. Sorry if you get demonetized, but it's really broken. I don't know why Konami decided to make this card.
Insane.
It is. Alright, for the side. We got 3 Nibiru. Card's pretty strong. I was thinking about maining it, but I'm liking it in the side right now. If the format becomes more combo heavy after the ban list, it might just get moved into the main. For a card I didn't actually come up. It actually came up once today against Vanquisher. Besides that, it didn't. It was Ogre. I was afraid I was going to run into more Centurion because it's gaining a little bit more popularity because of the ability to turn skip. But I didn't run it into any of those today. But I did run into Vanquish Soul, and then having Defender chain to the rock, and then having them activate Mad Love, and then I just Ogre the Mad Love made it more better because that lost them a lot of more ability to gain the resources. So ulting them on resources is pretty strong. Then 2 Crow, and then 1 Pankratops. Crow came up a lot today. Pankratops came up a little bit. It just came up to help OTK and then establish a problem on the board because it outs SP, and then it also pops a card if your opponent tries to interact with it. For the spells on the side, it's double Cyclone and Feather Duster. I was thinking about going with Lightning Storms, but last minute I changed to Cyclones because if I did run into Unchained, I didn't want to run into Lightning Storms because I just gained more availability. So having these in over that's probably a little bit better, especially with the fact that I can actually OTK. It's pretty strong. And then for going first, it's 3 Judgments. Judgments are strong. Came up like once or twice, but it helps me win the games. And we take those.
Well, congratulations on going 8-1, guaranteed top 8. You have any shout-outs?
Shout-outs to my boy Nate over here, buddy Sal, Joey, Victor, Ben, Hugo, my buddy Mario, Paper YGO, shout out to him, my buddy Brad, my whole crew. Appreciate their love and respect. Love them like family. Shout out to you for doing this deck profile because I don't think anyone wanted to do a generator deck profile, but GG's, yeah.
Generator best deck. Well, congratulations, and I hope to see you in the future.
Thank you.